And we start. You want to go start or should I? You start?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Bueno pues, bienvenido mi gente. It's very nice to see you once again and welcome to season 3 of Silver Blue.
See, welcome. So excited to be here back again with so many changes in our lives that we're super excited to share with you. So many things have already manifested and it's beautiful to see how everything starts coming together. Tell us, Jay, what is different now?
Well, for those of you who are new, first, I am your host, BluJay, and this is your other host,
Silvia.
And yes, so we do have some very new, awesome things that have happened in life since our last time chatting together. We both have some businesses that are now flourishing slowly but surely, and things have been going pretty well. We have now traveled, finally left Medellin, Colombia, and now we have seen together 3 other countries. We're currently living in Madrid, in Spain. We also got a chance to see Vienna in Austria, and then we also went to Hungary for about a week. So yeah, we're planning on moving forward after maybe a couple of months here. We've been traveling the world together a little bit more, so it's been great. What else? What you got?
Yeah, we decided to take a break since we were like traveling and yeah, many things were going on in our lives. But now that we already like going back to focus time and it's like now that we manifested all this coming to Europe and well, we went to this festival in Hungary that we really wanted to go. Now that all that had happened, now it's like, what's the next step now, right? We're focusing on the next step. And as we're focusing on that, new messages, new downloads, as Jay called them, like new learnings in this personal and spiritual journey are coming to us. So we were like, yeah, this is the perfect time to start the 3rd season of Silver Blue, start sharing a bit more of what's going on and what messages we are getting. And today we're going to talk about one super big message that has kept coming to us these last weeks, the last almost months. So you want to introduce the topic?
Yes, indeed. Con gusto pues more. So today, I'm just going to name it that, the way that it came to me on this journey so far. But we're going to be talking about the balance of 2 dragons. All right.
So first, what do we mean by the balance of 2 dragons? There's a lot in just those little words.
Yeah, there's a lot. So it's basically, for me, I've always resonated with dragons, and on this journey, I've been able to see basically the balance between what we're talking about today, the balance between creation and destruction, dark and light, the yin and yang, basically.
And it's interesting how this topic has like, it came to both of us at the same time. I think these last few weeks it's been a reminder of how these 2 energies coexist and one is necessary for the other one to exist, right? Like you cannot have pain without, like pleasure without pain, or you cannot have joy without sadness. It's just one complements the other, and the key is to accept both of them and find that balance, that middle ground between them, right?
Absolutely. And vice versa, honestly. Like, I think sometimes we even find a gratitude for the pain that we've expressed once we are able to get past it. And we look back and understand, like, yeah, we needed that in order to grow and learn whatever it was that we needed to grow and learn from. And then when you feel that pleasure, you're like, yeah, I needed that, So, yeah, basically, in this episode, we want to talk about the balance and the dance between the 2 dragons, the energy, how it dances how they dance with each other throughout your life and how you can use it and basically become more aware of it through your journey.
Yeah, and I love this concept of the dance between the two dragons, but I because I always felt very drawn to like dancing and movement, but I feel like now it has this deeper level of like dancing is just like an expression of life, of like the movement between two energies that just keeps the flow. Like for the flow to exist, the two energies need to be in constant movement. If you try to fight against that, then the flow, like life doesn't flow anymore. You get stuck. You get stuck in life because you're fighting against what it is, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so you just use two terms that really resonate with me as, the person I've become over time. But this is what visions basically came to me over the past month. But dancing and fighting, So like
Sorry, yeah, I love it. Like, because I've seen your journey of how it was like, like fighting or dancing or like, and now you're like finally just understanding that it's not choosing one or the other. It's both of them.
Exactly. It's the two dragons, like the two dragon spirits in me where I've always felt like, do I lean more this way and just focus on that and maybe have this on the side? Or do I lean more that way, become the full fighter instead of the dancer? It's like, no, both of them are who I am. And it's balancing those two energies, not having one so much more than the other or vice versa. So it feels very good to have come across that. And what I was just doing was this right here, because it's like the symbol that I was able to, I don't know, see and connect with. But I do want to talk about what it feels like. I feel like the dancing dragon is like my fiery energy of like creation and expression, and I feel both of them are, but basically that feels like the more creative, lighter energy that people can smile at, resonate with, and feel, and it feels good to be able to share that. Fighting, on the other hand, is more of the destructive energy, the darker side, that is still a form of expression, but it's something that less people can like resonate with, but it's also like, I
don't know. I think many people can resonate with that. It's more like, maybe it's more of a taboo energy or a taboo topic, but I think everybody has that other energy. Some people lean more towards one energy or the other energy, and that's also related with like female and male energy, like masculine energy. But I feel like we all have that part, and actually it's important that we all harnessing that part of us, and that's been also my journey, learning that I also need to work on that, like how can we call that energy?
The firme.
I call it the firme energy, like the here I am energy, and it's important because it's part of life. It's the part that helps, like makes you being respected, and like people respect you. And I think, I don't know, for me it's very clear, for example, with kids, there's always this teacher at school where all the kids, like, they don't like the teacher can like shout and everything and the kids don't care at all. There's other teachers, they don't need to do anything, they're just there, but the kids know they cannot like they're gonna respect that person. And it's, I think, very related with the energy you project into the world. And I think it's harnessing that dragon energy of like, here I am and I'm powerful, and these are my limits, and you're not gonna go over them.
Yeah, definitely. And that's another thing, is like finding a balance between them. Like when I'm doing one thing, so for example, dancing, there's people who have told me that I dance like a fighter, and other people who say I fight like a dancer. And so I feel like I'm finding a balance, because both things make me feel, what is the word? Connected, I would say. And I think that What am I trying to say? I feel like the people, like, just for, like what you said, for example, the students that can recognize that one teacher who doesn't have to say anything, maybe just give them a look, like, and they understand.
Yeah.
That teacher is probably someone who has that balance, that shows that side of, yeah, there's fun and all of this, but also like, okay, it's time to get serious. Let's not play around. And they all just understand. I think it takes a certain personality. And once you have that balance, I think people can just recognize it off, and you don't have to say or do anything. It doesn't take showing it so much, but I do think that's something I happen to have as well. Like, I think it happened through this journey of expressing and finding different levels of it, different ways to dance with my dragons. Like, there are some times where a lot more of it comes out on this side, and other times where a lot comes out on the other side. But finding that middle ground, that middle way is the key.
Exactly. The balance between those two energies is the key. Like, if you have too much of the fighting and like, here I am energy, then people are like, you're too aggressive. But if you have too much of the, it's good, like, whatever, like, I don't set my limits, I'm like, I don't want to be violent at all, people like don't respect you. It is what it is. Like, I was gonna say it's sad, but it's not sad. It's like, you're not in a balance. Like, if you feel like more, if you relate more to one of this person, is because you need to like work on the other energy, not to the point where you become the other energy, but to find that balance. And I think there's also something that have come to us, like, the importance of finding balance in life, and that's how we started like practicing slackline, like finding our balance between this rope between two trees. And for me, I feel like it's teaching me a lot of things about life in general, about how sometimes you lean one way and you think you're gonna fall, but you find your way back. What have you learned? What have you learned through slackline?
So one thing I learned through that actually is something that you said. Like, I remember stepping on the line and seeing it like wiggle, and you were like, "This is your mind," It feels like that. Like, sometimes you step into something for the first time, and it's like, "Oh shit, what's happening?" Like, it feels like the world starts to spin differently, and you're like, "Oh shit." But what I've learned is, like, when that starts happening, you can't panic with it, because then you fall down. But instead, you quickly snap into it. And I put my foot there, and then the whole line is just like,
Yeah, I love that one. That's so important. For me, another one is as like accepting that you're gonna fall so many times, and like, you're gonna fall and fall and fall. That's how you're gonna learn. Like, we've been practicing for like a week now, or a bit more than a week maybe. And at the beginning, we were falling after one step or not even, and now we can do a few steps, even like, a few meters. And then we fall and we learn from that. We try again, and the more we try, the better. And what we've talked already, right? Who succeeds is not who is talented from the beginning, is the one who stays. After falling, you learn the lesson, and you try again, and you try again, and you stay consistent, and that's how you succeed. That's how you learn to do whatever you want to do, no? And so many things related with that, yeah.
Yeah, another thing I noticed is how people look at it. This is crazy, actually. This is a big one. First of all, going back to what you said, the falling part. I think also when you fall down, how you react. And how you whether you get back on or say, nah, fuck this, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
That's a big part of life too. Like, you might try something, fall down, and be like, oh, like, damn it, fuck.
Yeah. Or like, you like fall, you get frustrated, and you try again, and you're even worse because you're coming with that frustration. Like, I realized, like, when I try from like the frustration part of like, shit, I fell again, then it's harder and harder. You need to like relax, come back to your center, and then is when you flow.
Yeah. And then on the contrary, if you fall down and you start laughing, it makes it more fun. You're like, okay, that was fun, but wait, I can do this a little bit better. let's see, let's try a different method. And it makes it more fun. You can get a little further and you're like, shit, okay, let's try something else. It makes it more fun and more, I've gotten to the point where I can get pretty far on there now and it feels good. Now I'm trying to practice going backwards,
And another thing is what we were saying about the first day doing like 2-3 steps was already like, wow, I did it. And now like we go a few, like many steps, you fall and you're like, oh, like it like what a few days before was a succeed, now is not enough. It's like that feeling of like I want more and like quick.
Yes. So that's one. And then the big one, this is funny. It's gotten to the point we've been doing this now for like a week and a half maybe, and now people are starting to see us and they think it's easy. They look and they're like, oh shit, that looks easy. Is it hard? Like, can I try? And they get on and they start laughing because they're like, fuck, this is hard. And they're like, how do you do that so easily? It's like practice, patience, consistency.
Yeah, like, I was like you a week ago. Like,
yeah. It's like, no, a week ago, we were the same. And they're like, how do you do that shit? He's so balanced. There's a balance. It's like, it reminds me of when someone sees a successful person in life doing all of these great things. And they're like, how did you get there? It must have been luck or something, or it must have been super easy. It's like, no, like it took time and consistency. It took doing it over and over again, falling, getting back up, a specific attitude. Like, no, it didn't just poof, I can walk from here to there. No.
Yeah, many people love to like admire the end result and be like, wow, that person has this talent. And it's like, well, you would too if you had put the effort, but you just didn't. Like, you didn't realize all the time that I've been there learning this.
Yeah, also, like, you remember how that kid was like, está más cuadrado que...
Sí, está más cuadrado.
Yeah, cuadrado. He's like, I'm like, no, that's not what it is. I mean, like, I had to do this a couple of times. I fell, like, just like you did.
Yeah, so the kid was saying, like, he's very unshaped, so, like, that's why he was doing it so well. But it's like, no, like, well, first of all, that also takes time. And the second is, like, it's about balance. It's about just spending the time there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny to see. And, basically, I think another thing it's teaching me is, like, like you said, people admire that result. And then it also... it's an influential thing. Like, when you have balance, other people look at it like, how can I get that balance? Like, they're like, it's admiration. Like, damn, how? And they want to ask you and try it out for themselves, but not everybody's built like that. So it's like,
Yeah, we have had all, like, many kids come, like, can we try? We put the rule of 2 attempts per kid.
Another thing you learned, like,
also, like, I learned, like, you need to put rules, otherwise, like, that's part of the here I am energy, like. And it's beautiful to see how each of them react. And how of the, like, I even see, like, limiting beliefs on them, like, I'm gonna fall, or, like, that person, this girl was like, no, she's always way better, or, like, I'm always very bad at this, and, like, wow, already, like, from kids.
Or that girl that didn't want to let go, like, she was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, now you need to start letting go and balance yourself, because we were helping with our hands, and she's like, nope.
Nope. And it's like, no, but the real practice starts when you do it with no hands. Like, yes, you're gonna fall, like, and yes, it's scary at first, but, like, nah, you can't hold on to someone for your whole life or your whole journey in learning some shit. Like, you have to be able to, like, okay, let me do this on my own, So you learn a lot of things through this, and then about balance in general.
And they were like, so why do you do this? And I was like, well, to find balance, because balance is important. I love how you can start teaching kids like very philosophical things, very important things for their lives through something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And so, like, I was also getting this same vision. Like, at times, like, while I'm doing the slack line, I noticed, like, there's a whole nother thing I noticed too. Oh shit. So first, what I was gonna say was, I get that vision of the 2 dragons balancing themselves within me. That's one thing that helps me to focus on just moving forward. But I also noticed sometimes, like when one of the little kids comes and stands super close to the line, you can easily get distracted, like, oh shit, you're too close.
Yeah.
And it can fuck your balance up a little bit. But when that starts to happen again, I look for just a second, and when I feel myself wavering, it's like, no, get back to it. Focus. It's like you gotta drown out all the noise that's happening everywhere else to find balance in yourself again. That's something I learned as well.
Yeah, I love that. It's a whole learning process just about balance and yeah, basically the importance in balance in your life. Like, there's also, I feel like when I meditate now, it helps to imagine myself, like walking in the slack line, because when you're walking in the slack line, like I feel it's the same when you meditate, because it's like when you're like walking, you're not thinking. And the moment you start like thinking like this and that, and like I'm gonna fall and and this happened, like all these things, then you start getting imbalance and like you can fall. I think it's the same when you're or in your life, but when you're meditating, you're like in that state of finding that balance, and then a thought comes, and then you can either like let it go and go back to your balance, and just go with the thought and completely lose the balance.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like back to what I was saying, like I feel like even you can get so distracted in life with so many different things. Like I said, one thing is like a kid coming too close to the line and watching and admiring super close. But also it's like hearing conversations. If your ears are over here thinking about something else, the line starts to wobble again. You're not focused on this center point and staying balanced and getting to the next thing. So if like you turn your head and hear somebody talking about some shit that has nothing to do with what you got going on, lose balance. Like, it's crazy. So like,
if you're like, are they looking at me? Are they like, are they talking about what I'm doing? Or maybe they're in their own movie and you're like kind of like wondering.
I think even like that's something that helped. You were noticing, like you said something like having an audience like helps me or something, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because like I have a choice to make. Either I choose to like give attention to that audience, or I choose to stay focused on just what's right in front of me and not get distracted by, do they think it looks cool, or are they hoping I'm gonna fall and blah blah blah. It's like it's a choice to make. Choose balance or choose like something else. So like that's another thing I think I've learned. Yeah. And then back to like the balance of the two energies. It feels like, I don't know. I forget where I was going with that, but the balance of the two energies also plays a role. I feel like when you're moving forward on that line, you do have to stay focused and like kind of serious, but you also got to have fun. You know what I mean? I think both of those little things. The serious part is get from point A to point B, do your best. But the fun part is like, yeah, you're going to fall. So if you do, it's okay. No problem.
Yeah, you're gonna fall, but I also realize sometimes you're like, I'm gonna fall, so I just fall. Yeah. But you can also be like, even if you feel like you're gonna fall, you try to go back to balance, and sometimes it works. Sometimes you're like, there's no way I can go back from that, and you do. Yeah. Sometimes you try and you fell down anyway. Yeah. But I feel like also it gives you this like lesson of like, just fight until the end. Like, don't lose hope when you feel like you're about to fall, because sometimes you can go back to balance.
Hell yeah. And that's where I learned this mechanism. Is like, I don't know how to even explain how I do it, but like there's moments where I'm like leaning way to this side and I just like do this like thing with my hands and I'm back on it. It's like
he uses his dragon powers to fly again.
Yeah, it feels like a mix of like sharp and fluidity, which is again like that fight dragon and the dance dragon. So I'm like, and I'm like back on it. And then like sometimes I feel myself bending and twisting in different shapes, like adding more weight to this side than this side in like a pose or something while I'm on the line. It's like finding your way. That's another thing I feel is like I'm finding my way between the two on that line. It's very, very like therapeutic for real.
Yes.
That's meditation for me.
Yeah, it's a way of meditating.
Yeah.
Like, we really recommend Slackline. We should put like affiliate links to buy a Slackline or something.
I was just thinking that if anybody wants to promote your product, we are happy to help, you know. So yeah.
It would be cool to have like a Slackline sponsor or something.
Yeah, that would be fly.
So if anybody is in that industry, please let us know. And something I wanted also to talk about, I think we starting the episode talking a bit about it, but like basically how life is about these two energies and what cannot be with the other. And all that also, like, I'm also reading this book who like comes back. It's just crazy how once you realize about one concept, like it just comes again in different forms. And it's this concept of the pain is necessary, but suffering is an option. And I think these last few weeks I've understood that sentence in a deeper way, because I was like, I have heard that sentence. Like my mentor used to say it a lot, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of understand, but I think now I understand better. So like pain is necessary because if there's no pain, there's no pleasure. Like it's part of the two energies. But suffering comes from denying what it is, you know. So you suffer not because something happens in your life, but because you fight against that. You don't suffer because you get fired. You suffer because you don't want that. You would like things to have been differently. So that's when you suffer, when you don't accept life as it is. And you suffer not because you're feeling sad. You suffer just because you don't want to feel sad. So like feeling sad, feeling the pain is necessary because that's what makes you grow. That's what makes you get out of your comfort zone and exploring and find ways of keep growing. Like pain is necessary for growing and keep and evolving. But suffering is optional. Suffering is the fighting against what it is. Yeah. Instead of accepting that this moment is perfect as it is.
Yeah, you know, that also, like, it kind of, damn, I just had a realization through that. Like, you know, I feel like there's a lot that comes in these two energies of light and dark, you know, creation, destruction. Life and death is what just came to me, you know. We live life, and I think a lot of people are afraid of the fact that eventually this life is going to end, you know. But without death, what is a meaningful life, I meant to say. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at it from that perspective, like, one day this shit's all going to be over. What can I do in the meantime? I saw a quote somewhere that I can't remember. I think it's in this book I'm reading called Limitless. Definitely recommend that. But
affiliate link in the description as well.
Definitely. So check this out. This is dope, right? Life is the C between B and D. So B, C, D, right? Life is C between B.
Say it again.
So, all right. Life is the C between B and D.
Okay.
Life is the choices that you make between birth and death.
Okay.
Dope as shit. Now, let me tell you what. You can choose, for example, like you just said, whether to suffer or to fear that one day you're going to die. You know what I mean? You can choose to suffer from all the pain that will inevitably come in your life. Or you can choose to make the choice of learning from those, accepting these different things and growing and learning from them. You know what I mean? It's all a choice. Everything between birth and death is a choice on how you're going to live. You know what I mean? What you're going to accept, who you're going to become. You know, you're the main character in this movie that is your life. You get to choose what that character is going to be. You know what I mean? So there's a whole balance between understanding that life is one thing, death is one thing, creation is one thing, destruction is another, light, darkness, yin, yang. You choose what you learn from that. through B and D, which is like,
And when you find that balance, you just walk.
Walk at the straight slag line.
Yeah, like the what is called the Tao path.
Yes, the Tao is that little squiggle between the yin and the yang sign, the Tao, which is finding balance between the two.
And there is where everything flows natural. And every time things don't flow, it's just because there's a learning to bring you back to the Tao, the flow path.
Yes. So like you want to get to that line, but you have to learn lessons from both the dark and the light side. And there's going to be times where you're not walking that Tao. It's normal. You have to learn a lesson from either your dark side or your light side. You know, and I briefly want to tell this like quick little story.
Okay, let's tell the little story and then we'll end the episode.
Nice. So this one is crucial. I think it helped you as well. The smiling at your demons. You know. So basically, this was when I had to make a choice. Actually, a series of choices. There was this guy in high school. I will not name his name, but we're going to call him Number 5. Why not?
Number 5?
I don't know why. Okay. So Number 5 was this guy in school that everybody... I got it from the Umbrella Academy. I'm watching this show. One of the characters is named 5. And anyway, 5. Everybody, like, is this new guy in school that everybody... Either, you know, all the women had a crush on him. All the guys either feared him or wanted to be close to him also because of fear, right? One day I'm in gym class and this guy comes over and he's like, oh, Jalen, you think you're something big and bad and blah, blah, blah. Starts talking all kinds of like shit, just trying to insult me and break my balance. I was very calm and chill. You know, I'm pushing my weights. He comes over and he puts his hand on top of the bench bar and starts trying to push it down, bothering me. So I get up and I say, listen, please leave me the fuck alone. Like, let's just not do this. And he's like, oh, you got a problem? Blah, blah, blah. Starts really trying to pull it out of me. I really did not want any problems, you know? Everybody in the class is looking because, like I said, people want to be cool with this guy or have his respect or whatever. And they're like, ooh, Jalen, what you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I didn't say anything at all, really. And this one guy goes, oh, I get it. Jalen doesn't talk with his mouth or his words. He talks with his fists. And so Number 5 goes, oh, really? Oh, that's right. Meet me in the locker room then. Whole class. Oh, you got caught? I'm like, okay, let's go to the locker room. Because you're not going to make me look like a fool in front of the whole school. Even at this point, I'm trying to give him like, look, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Somebody in the crowd, again, of instigators. Go, do it. La, la, la. So I'm like, okay, this is where I make a decision. Do I let him get the advantage by hitting me first? Or do I swing first? Either way, we're about to make this happen now because I've already chosen to go ahead and pursue this situation. I chose to lean into the dark. The dark side would have been hitting first, and the light side would have been, oh, let me be the gentleman and let him go. Like, nah. So I swing. Basically a flurry of fists and hands, and then all of a sudden, I end up choked up against the locker. Another decision was made. Do I get angry? Do I panic? Do I freak out? While his hand is on my neck, instead of frowning, I smile in his face, just like this. Rip his hand off of my neck and slam him into the locker. Now, I didn't want violence to begin with. I didn't want to go that route. But once I was there, I had to get the respect. I had to. I was either going to be respected or the complete opposite. After I made my statement, basically I won this fight, long story short. But he wanted to keep going. So after this, he stands, he's ready to fight again. I'm in my stance as well, but another choice had to be made. Go further, try to prove myself or destroy this guy, or simply walk away. Point already proven. I dropped my hands and I walked past him, and everything changed after that. He respected me a whole lot more, never messed with me again, actually wanted to be best friends. The whole school is walking around, wow, you defeated Zero? Man, can I get a
Number
picture with
5.
I get caught in the store. Yes, number 5. That's again why we chose a number. So you don't know which number in the numeric system it was. 50, perhaps. So anyway, using the choice at the end to take the light side instead of going even darker and deeper, that's where the balance came from. I didn't have to destroy his entire existence. Just make a statement enough to know, like, don't fuck with me, but I'm nice. I don't want to have to, do things that, come out of anger or frustration. So, yeah, that was the story. Basically, balance, Sometimes you are going to have to show people who you are. And other times, be who you are peacefully. If your peace is disrupted and you have no other option, pues.
Yeah, but doing it from the smile, from the like, it is what it is. I need to go through this right now. But if you panic, you take the risk of going too much into one of those sizes, right? Too much into the like, no, I'm not gonna fight, or too much into the I'm gonna destroy this guy. None of those were good options. Just is what you say, like, make the statement, just prove your point, and that's it. And that is when there's the powerful of the balance between the two energies, knowing when it's time to use one or the other ones. And if you panic, you're not gonna know. Only when you have a calm mind is when you know what to do. Same with the slackline. Only when you have a calm mind, you can make the next step without panicking and falling.
Exactly. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Even saying, like, okay, let's go to the locker room. The line started to get wobbly right there. Like, I was like, oh shit, I've accepted now. So damn. And then I had to calm down. It's gonna be okay. We are gonna know how to decide what's next. Then there's another decision. The line gets wobbly. Okay, do I hit him or do I let him hit me first so that it's self-defense? Okay, calm. Pow! And basically, yeah, it's just about like calming that wobbly line that is your mind and just saying, okay, breathe, focus, decide.
And knowing what it's time to put the next step so you don't fall.
Exactly. There you go, your first lesson on slacklining. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to go to the link below and click on the slackline store to get your own.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. It's an honor to be here again this 3rd season. If you guys have any topic you guys would like us to talk about, any questions, please let us know in the comments. And we would love to know from you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. We have some beautiful topics coming this season and perhaps some special guests as well. So everyone having an awesome life, and we'll see you again here soon on episode 2.
Yes, we're getting deeper and deeper into this path of self-improvement. So stay with us.
All right. Blessings to you all, cosmic rock stars. See you again.
Bye-bye.